Wake up. Your mind is a sleeping giant, and today it either rises or drifts deeper into fog. If you want a brain that cuts through noise and a voice that speaks with power, stay with me. This is the moment you train, not postpone. Welcome to Luminary English, where stories light the way to better English. You are not just watching a video. You are stepping into a story. Listen closely, feel every word, and let today be the chapter that changes your English forever. Part 1. Habit 1. Non-dominant hand priming. You stand at the sink and your familiar hand reaches for the brush, ready to move on autopilot. Today, you switch roles. The other hand hovers, awkward and honest, and a tiny storm of drops freckles the mirror. In that shy stutter, your brain wakes like a town when the first shop lights flicker at dawn. The discomfort is your ticket past the gatekeeper of routine. Open a door with the stranger hand. Stir your tea. Write your name in slow, careful lines. Miss the mark and try again. Each clumsy motion is a nudge that tells the mind to pay attention, to wire new paths, to stop drifting. Think of your mind as a tree that has been trimmed into safe shapes. Novel movement lets hidden branches reach for sun. The moment you resist the urge to swap back, you teach your nervous system that growth matters more than grace. A week from now, the wobble softens and a fresh steadiness appears where only hesitation lived before. This is not a circus trick. It is weight training for attention. Begin with simple acts in the morning. Brush teeth, unlock a door, carry your bag, pour water. In the afternoon, pick one small writing task and use the non-dominant hand without apology. At night, repeat one of the morning actions and notice how awareness stays bright. Celebrate the effort, not the neatness. Here at Luminary English, the goal is not to look smooth. The goal is to wake the brain before you face the world, so the day meets a mind that is alive, curious, and ready to learn. Start small, stay patient, and let the humble struggle sharpen perception, balance, and control with every deliberate, imperfect repetition you choose today. Part 2. Habit 2. One hard thing each day. Every day there is a small hill in your path. Most days you circle it and call the detour normal life. Today, you climb. Not a mountain, just a steady rise that warms your legs and clears the glass between you and the world. You speak in English for 5 honest minutes, though your voice wavers. You refuse the sugar that always wins after lunch. You read one dense page while the couch begs you to fold. None of this is heroic. All of it is training. Hard as a moving target. Yesterday it was waking up when the alarm rang the first time. Today it is starting the proposal you keep delaying. Tomorrow it may be sending a sincere apology that tightens your chest. What matters is the deliberate pinch, the clean edge that asks for effort. Your brain grows where your comfort ends, the way muscle grows where weight meets bone. Build a simple ladder. Pick a task that is slightly difficult in the morning, one that is moderately difficult in the afternoon, and one brief but emotionally difficult act in the evening. Track the wins with a quiet nod and no fanfare. When you meet fear, breathe through it and take one more step than you want. Over weeks, the hill becomes a habit, and the habit becomes identity. Here at Luminary English, we care less about perfect performance and more about consistent courage. Choose a hard thing, complete it, and let the small victory tilt the whole day forward. When tough choices stack like bricks, you are building a road forward, one stone per day, until momentum carries you farther than fear ever could. Part 3. Habit 3. 30-minute screen fast. Turn everything off for half an hour and notice how the room becomes a landscape again. Without the glow, corners regain shape, shadows breathe, and your own inner voice returns from exile. The first 5 minutes feel itchy. Your hand twitches toward a pocket that holds nothing useful right now. Stay anyway. Walk to the window and count the slow parade of clouds. Sit at the table and write 3 unrushed sentences about what you feel, not what you should post. This is not punishment. This is medicine. Your brain has been sprinting between bright hooks, never finishing a single stride. When you set a quiet boundary, attention stops scattering and begins to pool. Thoughts sink, settle, and clarify like snow in a glass after a shake. You recall names that slipped. You notice tension in your jaw and let it soften. You hear the refrigerator hum and remember a childhood summer where days had edges. Make the fast a ritual. Choose the same time each day and protect it the way you would protect a meeting with a mentor. Place the phone in another room. Use a paper timer or a simple clock. In that half hour, breathe through the urge to check. Stand, stretch, drink water, take 10 slow steps, and return to stillness. When the time ends, do not rush to the screen. Re-enter with an intention, one clear task, and a limit. Here at Luminary English, we call this the room with open windows. You leave it calmer, and you carry that fresh air into your next conversation, your page, and your next decision, so presence replaces noise and clarity becomes your default. Part 4, Habit 4, Dark, Silent Sleep. Tonight, you turn your room back into what it was meant to be, a cave for healing. The door closes softly. The phone sleeps in another room like a noisy guest politely shown to the couch. Curtains meet and seal the light. A small fan draws a border of gentle sound, and the air feels a touch cooler than the hallway. You sit on the edge of the bed and let the day drain through your feet into the floor. Thoughts still rush at first, then they sort themselves and stand in a quiet line. Sleep is not a pause. Sleep is an overnight workshop where your brain repairs tools, files, memories into the right drawers, and resets the gauges of mood and focus. Any stray light or buzz keeps the crew from working. When the room is truly dark, your mind can dive, not paddle. When the room is truly quiet, your emotions unclench and breathe. Build a simple evening pattern. Dim lights an hour before bed. Sip water and stop the scroll. Take a warm shower and then step into the cooler air of your bedroom. Read a few calm pages on paper. Write one sentence to close the day and one to open tomorrow. Place the alarm where you must stand up to reach it. If city light sneaks in, use an eye mask. If noise presses at the walls, use earplugs or the soft breeze of a fan. Morning will not feel magical. It will feel clean. Your head will greet the day with a directness that used to be rare. Here at Luminary English, we want your nights to carry the same intention as your study hours. Protect the cave, and the cave will protect your mind. Part 5. Habit 5. Solo Nature Walk. You leave the house with empty hands and step into air that has its own quiet grammar. The sky has a sentence of pale blue with slow-moving commas of cloud. Trees offer a soft applause that rises and fades as you pass. You notice the color of the bark, the way small weeds stitch the edge of the pavement, the thin silver of a spider line drawn between two stems. With each step, the noise in your head falls behind like a bicycle that stops ringing its bell. At first, you feel the itch to reach for the absent phone. Let the itch visit and leave. Pay attention to 4 anchors. Feel the breeze on your forearms. Listen for the most distant sound you can find, and then the closest. Look for 3 shades of green that you had never named. Breathe in and try to catch a scent other than your own laundry. Maybe wet soils or sap or faint smoke from a kitchen far away. Walk without a goal other than being present for a short stretch of time. If a problem follows you out the door, greet it kindly and tell it to walk beside you, not ahead of you. Toward the end of the path, ask yourself one question out loud and answer with a single true sentence. When you return, the furniture of your thoughts has been rearranged. This is a class without walls. Luminary English invites you to keep this simple ritual. 10 or 20 unrushed minutes in nature becomes a daily rinsing of the mind. You come back with a steadier gaze, a calmer tongue, and a clearer sense of what matters next. Part 6. Habit 6. Read against yourself. You pick up a book that your past self would have left on the shelf. Perhaps it argues for a life philosophy you distrust, or tells the story of a leader you once disliked, or maps a culture that unsettles your assumptions. The first chapter feels like walking into a room where every chair is at a strange angle. You want to tidy everything back into your familiar pattern. You do not. You keep reading. Soon you notice that the author is not a villain, but a person with reasons, wounds, and evidence. Some points remain wrong to you. Others land with a thud of recognition that makes you wince. You are not converting. You are expanding. The mind does not grow by nodding. It grows by meeting a thought it cannot easily swallow and learning to chew without anger. Keep a small notebook, and after each reading session, write 3 lines. First, the strongest idea that challenges you. Second, the piece of your life that this idea might sharpen or soften. Third, one question to carry into tomorrow. When the book ends, resist the urge to declare victory or defeat. Instead, explain the core argument in plain words to a friend who disagrees with you and listen for the places where you oversimplify. This practice does not erode your values. It polishes them. It teaches humility without collapse and conviction without heat. Here at Luminary English, we read to meet ourselves at the edge of what we know. When you step over that edge with care, your vocabulary widens, your empathy deepens, and your thinking gains the tensile strength that only respectful friction can create. Part 7, Habit 7, Active Recall Rule. A name hangs just out of reach. A fact flickers, and your hand moves toward the phone like a knee jerk. Stop, close your eyes, walk backward through the moment the memory was formed. Where were you? Who spoke first? What color was the room? Which detail made you smile? Give your brain 60 honest seconds to pull its own weight. The suspense feels like standing in a doorway during a storm, but then the answer steps forward, shy and complete. That small victory is not luck. It is training. Active recall is the art of asking the mind to fetch before you feed it cues. It is uncomfortable because the brain loves shortcuts, yet every resisted shortcut lays new track. Begin with tiny challenges. Before checking a schedule, recite the time. Before searching a route, picture the turns. Before rereading a definition, explain it out loud as if teaching a child. When the memory fails, then check. When it works, savor the earned click. Build a gentle loop for your day. In the morning, recall 3 tasks without looking. At midday, answer one question from yesterday's reading with your eyes away from the page. In the evening, Summarize the day in 3 sentences from memory. Then compare with your notes. Over weeks, you will notice a calmer confidence, a slower rush to check, and a quicker climb from that empty feeling on the tip of the tongue. Here at Luminary English, we want you to trust your own circuits again. The phone can confirm. Your mind should lead. Part 8, Habit 8, learn what you are bad at, admit it. There is a thing you avoid because it shrinks you. A dance step, a drawing lesson, a new sport, speaking to a small audience without a script. The first attempt is a tangle of hesitation and heat in the cheeks. You want to quit and protect your image. Stay. Let the clumsy moment breathe. Failure is not a verdict. It is a mirror that shows exactly where to place the next careful effort. Choose one skill where you are truly a beginner. Declare a week of gentle practice. Day 1, you only explore and notice what confuses you. Day 2, you copy a tiny pattern. Day 3, you fix one mistake. Day 4, you repeat the fix. Day 5, you try without notes. Day 6, you teach one small part to a friend. Day 7, you perform for yourself and write what improved. The point is not talent. The point is growth under pressure that is real but kind. As you tolerate looking unskilled, something unexpected happens. Your ego loosens its grip. Your attention steadies. Your willingness to ask for help grows. Neural paths thicken along the exact lines of practice and patience. The next time life asks for courage, your body remembers this proof that you can stretch without snapping. Here at Luminary English, we celebrate the beautiful mess of learning. We measure progress in attempts made, not applause gathered. Go be bad on purpose, briefly and regularly, and the mind will respond with plasticity, humility, and a quiet pride that no quick win can buy. Part 9, Habit 9, Deep Talk Prompts. Most conversations skate on the safe surface where nothing leaves a mark. Tonight you choose depth over drift. You turn off the background noise, sit where you can see each other clearly, and ask one question that matters. What changed you this year? When did you feel most lost and what helped you walk? What is a dream you keep hidden because it feels too tender to name? Then you listen, not to reply, but to understand. At first there is a pause, a shuffle of thoughts, a nervous smile. Stay with the silence. It is not awkwardness. It is soil. When words arrive, they carry weight. Stories of a mischance, a quiet victory, a fear that still visits at night. Your brain does not skim these notes. It leans in with empathy and pattern recognition. You remember sentences days later because they are tied to emotion, and emotion is glue for memory. Practice a simple rhythm. Ask one real question. Offer your own honest answer. Reflect back one detail you heard. Ask if you understood. Do not fix what is not a problem. Let the conversation breathe and change direction. And with gratitude for the trust that showed up. Over time, friendships feel less crowded, yet more alive. You will notice better focus, warmer language, and a wiser restraint during conflict. Here at Luminary English, we believe fluent speech grows from truthful connection. When you speak to be changed, not just to be heard, your language becomes precise, your presence becomes steady, and your mind feels newly awake. Part 10, Habit 10, Routine Remix. Morning arrives and the body tries to replay yesterday line by line. You interrupt the script with a tiny twist. You brush teeth with the unfamiliar hand. You open the window first, not the phone. You sit on the floor to eat, not at the usual chair. These details seem small, Yet they jolt the mind the way a path bends and reveals a lake you never noticed. Novelty is breakfast for attention. Before noon, take a different street. Greet the barista by name if you never do, or drink plain water instead of your default cup. Stand at a new desk, or move a lamp so shadows fall from the other side. Your brain pauses, recalculates, and wakes like a traveler holding a new map. Afternoon asks for a second remix. Switch the order of 2 routine tasks. Write before you check messages. Walk while you think, then return to type. Change seats in the meeting room. Place a plant on your table and notice it after each break. Small shifts teach flexibility better than rare big leaps. Evening lands and you rearrange the gentle edges of home. Swap sides of the bed. Put the clothes for tomorrow in a new spot. Start the night read with a genre you ignore. Capture one new detail in a one-sentence journal line. As days stack, these micro moves stitch surprise into ordinary time. Keep novelty gentle. Here at Luminary English, we are not tearing down your life. We are loosening bolts so the framework can breathe. Routine is a tool, not a cage. Remix it often, and your mind stays alert, creative, and playful, ready to notice language, hold ideas, and respond to change without panic. Part 11. Habit 11. Teach back in 2 minutes. You just learned something useful and fragile, the kind of idea that slips away by morning. Before it fades, turn and give it to someone. Imagine a friend beside you. Begin with a small hook from real life. Share the core insight in plain language. Offer one simple example that shows how it works. You have 2 minutes, not to perform, but to organize. Teaching is the act that forces understanding to take shape. Choose a delivery you can repeat. Record cease or short voice note. Send a message to a sibling. Speak to the bathroom mirror while brushing your teeth. Draw 3 boxes on paper and fill them with the steps. As your mouth moves, your brain sorts, prunes, and links. Vague becomes clear. Passive becomes active. A thought becomes yours. Use a tiny daily ritual. Morning, teach one sentence from yesterday's reading. Midday, explain one process you used successfully to an imagined learner. Evening, summarize what you practiced today as if coaching your younger self. The tone stays casual and human. You are not lecturing. You are passing a warm tool from one hand to another. Expect stumbles. They are part of the workout. When you cannot explain a part, mark it, return to the source, and fix the gap, then teach again in shorter words. Over weeks, you will notice faster recall, cleaner speaking, and better notes because you write with the next student in mind. Here at Luminary English, we treat teaching as memory with a pulse. One idea shared today can echo through your network tomorrow, and the echo you hear will be your own comprehension returning, stronger and steadier than before. Part 12. Habit 12. Strategy Games. You reach for a quick tap game that showers you with points for almost nothing. Pause. Open a game that asks you to think 3 moves ahead. Lay out a board, draw a grid, or start a puzzle where the first decision matters later. The early minutes feel slow and irritating, like walking uphill after weeks of elevators. Stay. That faint pressure behind your forehead is not stress. It is effort returning. Strategy games teach you to hold a plan and adjust it without drama. You learn to trade a small loss for a greater advantage. You see how patience changes the board. You begin to predict, not react. When you blunder, you study the position, breathe, and set the next move with care. This is rehearsal for real-life decisions where speed is loud and wisdom is quiet. Build a simple practice. Choose one thinking game and play 10 focused minutes, 5 days a week. Keep a tiny note of lessons, one line each time, such as do not chase every shiny move, protect the center, or think from the end backward. Invite a friend once a week and explain your plan out loud as you play. Speaking your reasoning strengthens it. Here at Luminary English, we respect play that builds the mind. When you replace mindless tapping with deliberate strategy, you train depth, patience, and foresight. Those qualities spill into your language learning, your work, and your relationships. The win is not the final score. The win is the mind you are shaping while you think, adapt, and make the next wise move. Part 13. Habit 13. Light intermittent fasting. Evening arrives and you decide to end eating a little earlier than usual. You drink water, tidy the kitchen, and let the night be a clean page. Morning comes with a quieter body. You stretch, step outside for a few slow breaths, and notice that thoughts feel finer, like glass wiped free of fingerprints. You are not punishing yourself. You are giving digestion a rest so the mind has more room to work. Keep it gentle. Choose 2 days in a week to space your meals with a simple overnight pause of 12 to 14 hours. Finish dinner, close the kitchen, and in the morning begin with plain water before any flavor. If light dizziness or sharp discomfort appears, you eat. If you have medical conditions, you speak with a professional first. The aim is clarity, not heroics. Use the pause as a focus window. In the early hours, read a page, walk 10 minutes, or write a few honest lines. Notice how urges rise and fall like waves that do not sweep you away. Learn the difference between true hunger and habit hunger. When you do eat, choose real food and sit to taste it. Your brain learns steadiness from this rhythm. Over weeks, many people report calmer energy, steadier mood, and easier concentration. You may find decisions come cleaner and that you speak with more patience. Here at Luminary English, we are not chasing extremes. We are building disciplined softness. A light fast is simply an agreement with your future self. You promise to leave a little space, and that space repays you with attention that is bright and unhurried. Part 14. Habit 14. Brain writing. Set a quiet place for thinking and leave the world outside the door. Write your question at the top of a page. It might be simple. Why am I so tired by afternoon? How can I practice English with more joy? Then set a timer for 7 minutes and begin to write in silence. No internet, no talking, no rearranging. The first ideas come easy and obvious. Keep going. The real work arrives when you want to stop. At minute 3, your pen slows and doubt whispers that you are empty. Stay seated and breathe. Describe the problem in a new sentence. Flip the angle. Ask what you would tell a friend who brought you this puzzle. By minute 5, something unclogs. A small, honest idea arrives without decoration. You write it down and protect it from quick judgment. When the timer rings, circle one sentence that carries electricity. Under it, write a single next action you can take within 24 hours. Fold the page and carry it in your pocket or place it on your desk. Later, return and harvest 2 more lines. The rest you may cross out without guilt. The goal is not a beautiful list. The goal is depth earned in silence. Practice this ritual 3 times a week. Keep your pages in one folder so you can watch your questions evolve. Over time, you will see patterns, blind spots, and hidden strengths. You will also discover that your best thinking is not loud. It is steady. Here at Luminary English, we teach you to trust the quiet room. Brainwriting is the backdoor of creativity, and it opens when you give your attention a calm table, a pen, and the courage to keep writing after comfort ends. Part 15. Habit 15. Cold finish shower. You finish a warm shower and a small voice asks for the easy ending. Today, you choose the training ending. Turn the tap toward cold until the breath leaps in your chest. Stand tall. Place one hand on your stomach and count slow breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth, shoulders low, eyes steady. The first 5 seconds feel like a test you did not study for. Then the body adjusts. A thin, bright line of alertness runs from neck to heel. This practice is not about proving toughness. It is about learning to stay present when discomfort arrives. Choose 30 seconds. Use calm breathing as your anchor. When the mind panics, say one sentence out loud. I can stand in the weather. Watch how quickly fear rises and then melts when you do not run. That is transferable courage. It appears later in hard conversations, and during work you usually avoid. Be safe and sensible. Begin with a short, cool rinse at the end of a warm shower. Add 5 seconds each few days until you reach your chosen time. If you feel sharp pain or dizziness, stop and warm up. The goal is a clear mind, a strong mood, and a body that learns to toggle from stress to control. Step out and notice the world looks a shade crisper. Colors feel honest. Thoughts line up. You did a small thing that taught your nervous system a large truth. Here at Luminary English, we use ordinary moments to build extraordinary resilience. A brief cold finish is a daily vote for steadiness, and those votes accumulate into a mind that meets the day awake. Part 16. Habit 16. Memorize weekly. Choose a short poem line, a lyric with rhythm, or a quote that speaks to your bones. Copy it by hand on a small card. Read it aloud once in the morning, once at midday, and once at night. Whisper the cadence until the words begin to lean toward you on their own. On day 2, close your eyes and recite what you can, then peek only to repair the gaps. On day 3, write it from memory, then compare and correct with a calm smile. Small errors are not failures. They are guideposts. Make a simple loop you can keep. Listen, hum, handwrite, self-test. Use an affordable notebook or a plain digital note, not a tangled system. The key is attention that returns at gentle intervals. Bring feeling to the lines. Imagine where the speaker stands, what the room smells like, what the weather is doing outside the window. Emotion hooks memory, and memory repays emotion with depth. Carry the piece into your day. While waiting in line, touch the card and recite the next phrase. While walking, speak it to the rhythm of your steps. At night, share it with someone you care about, and notice how the meaning shifts on a second voice. Each week, add one new piece and keep the old ones alive with a weekend review. Over months, you will hold a small library inside you. Here at Luminary English, we treat memorization as strength training for focus, language, and calm. When words live within you, conversation flows, writing sharpens, and the mind feels steadier. You are not stuffing facts. You are planting phrases that can steady your breath in a crowded day and light your thinking when the room goes dim. Outcome. Look back on today and find one moment where you chose training over drift. Maybe you brushed with the unfamiliar hand. Maybe you stepped outside without the screen and heard the wind address you by your real name. Maybe you stood your ground under a short burst of cold water and felt your focus return like a lighthouse. Small victories are not small. They are proof that your brain answers when you call it to the field. Now choose one habit and begin it before the day ends. Keep the step humble and specific. 30 minutes without screens. A 2-minute teach back to a friend. A 7-minute page of quiet brain writing. One short line to memorize before sleep. Do it once and then plan the next repetition. Consistency beats intensity in this kind of work. Share your choice in the comments so your promise has witnesses and encourage someone else to pick theirs. Return tomorrow and report one sentence of progress. This is how momentum grows, not with fireworks, but with steady sparks. You have a clear path and a ready mind. Walk it today. Then come back for the next chapter. Follow Luminary English for weekly training where stories light the way to better English, and where your attention, your memory, and your courage learn to move as one.